Let's talk about it. The Trent Brown issue. Now, I haven't seen anything about him when it comes to locker room problems. I did see a lot of guys comment down below my videos say that he was a locker room issue. Again, like I said, I have not confirmed that, seen anything about that. But what is true is what happened last season. Now, of course, keep in mind this is all allegedly because he did come out and say that none of this is true. But it's pretty clear if we're being honest here. So, what ended up happening was Trent Brown last year played for the Patriots at right tackle. He had an incentive-based contract that said if you get a certain amount of snaps, then he will get a certain amount of extra money, right? He got injured during the year, and when he got injured during the year, he tried to come back and play. He couldn't. He wasn't healthy enough. The guy was hurt. He tried to play through injury. It didn't work out. Well, once he went ahead and figured out he's not going to hit the incentives on the amount of snaps he needs to get the extra money, according to Patriots fans, he quit. He gave up. He stopped trying. He said, "Okay, well, I'm not gonna go out there and put in all my effort because I'm not getting the incentive because I didn't hit the goal." And obviously, listen, at the end of the day, incentives are great. And as players, we want to hit, well, as players, I'm not a player, but players want to hit incentives. They want to hit goals, right? That's why they put them in the contracts. You get a certain amount of sacks. You get a certain amount of receiving yards. You get a certain amount of passing yards. You play a certain amount of games, right? You want to get those incentives. You want to complete them because not only does it help the team, it also helps you as a player to get money. Now, I will say at the time, the Patriots season was over and it wasn't really going that well. It was kind of a, pitfall. So a player giving up, you know, late in that season where the quarterback situation is a mess, they know they're going to hit free agency. They don't want to get injured again. They're already coming off an injury. I'm not going to sit here and justify it, but what I'm going to tell you is that's not uncommon. It's not uncommon for a player who's about to hit free agency, who knows what's in front of him, that knows that no matter what he does is not going to take this team to a better situation. The team wants to lose to get a better draft pick. The coach is going to get fired. It's not unlike the situation for a player not to go ahead and try anymore. Now, the problem is, right, is that was it that or was it the incentives? Because a player, and again, I know it's tough because listen, we're human beings. We want to get money. We want to get paid. We want to get as much money as possible. And when we can't achieve our goals, sometimes it feels defeating and you stop trying. You got to keep going, though. You got to keep trying your best. You got to go out. You can't quit on the team. And that's a huge, huge red flag when it comes to a player is if they quit on their team, they're going to quit on the team in the future. That's just how it works. If something isn't going their way, they're going to give up. And you don't want to have that mentality with your players in any way possible. Because at the end of the day, what ends up happening is, let's say you're in the fourth quarter and the whole game, you're trying to make a comeback, but I mean, listen, you're going against, I don't know, Chris Jones or TJ Watt, and he's destroying you all game long. If you're like, we're not going to win this game, I'm not going to go out there and risk my body and get injured here, there's no point. Well, guess what? Now you could lose that game 100%. And also, if you give up, maybe your quarterback gets hit, and maybe he gets hurt, and maybe now you don't have a quarterback. So there's a lot of things. And I think the first comment is really the best way to put this. He said, "This is a little weird. I got the impression that Brown wanted to play because he had so many snap-centric incentives. Then he got injured, and when he tried to play, just physically couldn't and got shut down. Then he realized he wasn't going to hit his incentives and quit." Second comment, the two things to his credit are he legitimately did deal with injuries this year, and I believe that the teammates have only defended him. Still, though, the guy just has excuses after excuses as to why absolutely nothing was his fault, which is somewhat humorous if that's the case, since Belichick is notorious for converting incentives to bonuses. If you fall short due to things outside your control, if you put in the effort, Bill Belichick rewards his players, and that's true. They do, absolutely do. He rewards his players. And that's not just Bill Belichick. Last year, the Browns, for example, Joe Flacco had a $5 million incentive if he played the game against us. Well, because he couldn't, because they benched him, because, they didn't need to start him. They didn't bench him. Like, they sat him down, they didn't start him. They converted that incentive into a bonus and gave him the money. A lot of teams do this. If they're like, hey, listen, at the end of the day, you played great for us, you did awesome, you gave a lot of effort, sometimes they'll give you that bonus, that incentive as a bonus because they know you tried your ass off to get it. And as the comment says, that is his MO. He's a quitter. And if that's the case, then again, it just sparks more red flags on why, right? And again, listen, he came out and said all this stuff is not true. He said, "Oh, I'm not a quitter. This is all lies. It's all, hater talk." The proof's in the pudding, And you can watch him last year and see how he played and see how when things got bad, and you can see everything with your own eyes. So it's impossible to really, go with, is he a quitter or not? Sounds like someone is trying to save face for free agency. I think one of the more telling parts is that how he admits to not fighting to get back in O-line rotation when Lau got to start over him, admitting he actually telling his position coach to let Lau stay in since Lau was already in the flow of the game. He frames it as supporting Lau and being a team player, but this isn't the type of attitude a true competitor has. Same story as always with Trent, which is high potential that he chooses not to reach. The bits about the team's culture were interesting. I think there is truth to what he says in the NFL isn't an attractive destination for veteran players when they know they're going to work hard, forced to live in Foxborough and no longer have the promises of competing for championships that we had so long ago. The fact that he openly is calling out Pacific moves Bill made as crap, not retaining Cross and Mason, drafting Strange, basically confirms he won't be back in New England. And obviously, then Bill Belichick got canned in New England too, ironically enough. But yeah, so there is a lot of talk, and this thread goes on and on, cut his butt. Yeah, Bill Belichick is out to go get Trent Brown, and Trent Brown is a difficult person. And the more I read about it, the more I'm like, I don't think we need that kind of red flag here in Cincinnati. We really don't. We need a team player who wants to fight hard, and win games for us. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out.